How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and today we're going to be talking about SOS. So excited to do this video. We already know the market is opening up tomorrow on Monday, and I want to make sure that you are prepared. So the first thing that we're going to be going over in this video, we're going to be doing a technical analysis. After the technical analysis, we're going to be looking at the short interest. You want to get an update. You want to see what is the short squeeze potential for this stock. But before we actually get into that, what I want to kind of go over is what type of an investor are you, or what kind of trader are you before considering this stock. So what do I mean by this? If you're looking for short-term opportunities, whether you're day trading this or you're swing trading this off the support levels that we talk about on this channel, you're going to have a different outlook in regards to someone who is holding this long term. I know many of you want to get into this stock for short-term gains, and I understand that. But at the same time, if you really want to maximize value and also your return, you want to make sure that you have your investment goals very clear here. A lot of people are saying, well, SOS went down or SOS went to this. Here's the question. What is your time frame? We've talked about this on this channel. You can't say, well, you know what, the stock went down 50 cents, I'm down so much, I'm going to sell. You need to look at the long-term prospects of this company. So far for SOS, it is looking really good. They've done a lot of things and put a lot of moving parts in place to set themselves for success in the industry that they're in particular talking about cryptocurrency. So I myself is part of the reasons why I am heavily invested, just like many others. But I'm also going to put in a disclaimer here. I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. I believe when Bitcoin runs up heavy, SOS will benefit from this. That's what I'm 100% clear on here. So that's part of the reasons why I am interested in this play and why I don't mind actually holding this stock for at least a year. For yourself, if you think, well, you know what, I just want to hold this for a week or a few days, then make sure that you have the right expectations going in. I know there's a lot of influences on YouTube and the media. Well, SOS is going to go to $20, $30, $40 in a couple days, in a week. You need to make sure you're doing your own due diligence and you're doing your homework to realize what is the possibility of this actually happening. And the reason why I'm emphasizing this in the video, because a lot of you are going into this stock thinking, you know what, it's going to pop or it's going to go through the roof the next day. And you know what, the whole goal in regards to everyone who's actually behind SOS and who's actually investing in it are not looking at it that way. And if they are, they're just setting themselves up. Because if you don't believe in the company and you're only in this for short-term interest, and then you start realizing the price is pulling back and you get nervous and you end up selling, who's to blame for that? You got to blame yourself, right? That's what I want to really remind a lot of you about. So if you have diamond hands with SOS, my hat's off to you. And again, for anyone who's in this short term or doing swing trade opportunities, make sure you have clear, realistic goals and not just depend on wild estimates that you find on social media. So with that said, of course, we got to go a little bit over how Bitcoin is moving. Bitcoin is moving fairly well, staying high, consolidating, building support in that high 50K range. To be exact, that 58 to 59. I saw it holding down 59 very, very well, and also having those recent pops to 60 and 61. So that's good, and that's something that we want to see. And we know with the continued momentum in Bitcoin, it will be reflected on SOS. So now that is clear, let's get into those parts in the video that I said I was going to be covering, which is the technical analysis, the short interest, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts afterwards. Let's get into it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for SOS. So the chart that you see in front of you right now is the 5-day, 5-minute chart. You want to take a look at what the recent trends have been looking like for this stock. Now, so we want to take a look at the overall performance. So on Friday, it ended up closing the day at $5.25, which ended up being down 5 cents from the previous day and being down 0.94% on the day, which is no big deal at all. We ended up seeing a low of $5.50 $5.15, as you can see right over here. And we end up seeing a high of $5.67, which you could see up here as well. So one of the things that we want to take a look at very quickly here is the area of support that's holding up. And we can definitely see we have a solid area of support right here at $5.20. If this area ever ends up breaking, then we definitely want to see it bounce off the $5.08 level, which it did previously back on April the 8th. As you can see, almost making contact and touching the 200-day trend line. We could see that there's been a resistance area here also as well we need to take note of right here around this 535 level. To be exact, let's just call it 540. So this 540 level is definitely an area of resistance, and it started moving down as the day progressed down to 535. So I want to see us being able to surpass these levels come next week. There's a lot of anticipation for the Coinbase IPO, and I feel like a lot of stocks will benefit from this, and SOS will definitely be one of the ones I want to see. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in regards to next week. But what I want to show you guys is actually the overall trend in over regards of 3 months. So let's say for this particular area of $5.20 ends up breaking, we already know we're going to be testing that $5 level. We want to see how well that $5. We know it could challenge $4.95 and bounce back up. So if that does happen, we want to see that happen again. If these levels end up breaking, then the next level that we want to look out for as far as support is right here at $4.66. And then the next level after that would be at $4, around $4.20. Please do keep in mind, I don't see this happening, but I just want to make sure that you guys are prepared and you're not surprised if it does happen, right? So what we want to take a look at as far as areas of resistance, which we noted on the 5-day, 5-minute, but we could also see that, hey, this was also an area of support in the past, right? So just knowing this is part of the reasons why, if it's able to get past these resistance areas around the 530s to 540s, where we predict seeing a big move, especially if we take a look over here at this $6.09 resistance area. And this has literally been dating back as far as March the 24th. If we're able to get past this, the next level, literally clearly, you could see could be very quickly moving up close to $7. So that's what I'm definitely looking forward to seeing from SOS for this week. And yeah, that's to kind of keep you guys updated on what the game plan is actually looking like. If we take a look at these indicators here, it is below the 200-day, it is below the 100-day. But again, I'm just not too concerned about that because we know this stock is heavily manipulated. And I do see it actually reclaiming these areas. So yeah, I'm still bullish on SOS. Fintel.io, we're going to be taking a look at the short interest for SOS. So you can see by the short volume ratio, it is at 25%. And we know if it's above 21%, more likelihood of a short squeeze. So seeing some serious moves in price action. If we take a look at the short shares availability, it is around 1.6 million, and the short borrow fee rate is at 7.77%. If we take a look at the prior history, 25% is still fairly good and it's up there, but we did end up seeing some highs on April the 7th where it was at as high as 28.87, also on March 29th at 26.74, and then March 26th reaching a significant high at 31.81. So seeing it at 25, that is still great to see. With the volume and demand that goes through SOS stocks, we can end up seeing some really serious moves in regards to price action. So let's switch over to actually market beat, where it gives you short interest ratio and short volume, and we could take a look as well as the prior history. So as you can see, the percentage of shares shorted is at 216.85%. So that is a huge number, taking into consideration that the fact that it's over 100%, that just tells us that other institutions are lending to other institutions so they can have the ability to short shares. Now, if we take a look at the previous history here, even if we see at February the 12th, February the 26th, and March the 15th, so it ended up increasing when we take a look at change from previous reports. 523.6%. That is insane. The next report up 191.5%, and then the most recent one for March 15th up 47.2%. This is insane. When we take a look at the dollar value, this is literally 15.74 million reaching up to 86.52 and also 60.89. We can even take a look at the amounts right here. You can see 3.3 million shares. We see 9.6 million shares, and now we see 14.6 1.16 million shares. So please keep this in mind so you know, and that's part of the reasons why we're looking forward to seeing some strong price action in SOS stock with the data that has been presented to us. So for my final thoughts for SOS, I like this stock. I know you guys weren't expecting that. But on a serious note, yes, that's part of the reasons why I am invested in it. And I'm a part of this movement for it. We already know and we've realized, even with the bigger players like Riot and Mara, they've all been through this particular process. And it's part of the reasons why I still see upside in SOS. Another thing that I want to talk about is what's going on outside of the stock market. We've already heard with China coming with their first digital currency. And this is going to be huge overall in general and will definitely have an impact on the overall industry as a whole, which I'm looking forward to see how that turns out. We also do know about Coinbase. Coinbase is going to be IPOing this week on April the 14th. I'm looking forward to seeing that having an impact on the SOS stock as well. In regards to the questions that people ask me saying like, hey Dre, what do you feel about the lawsuits in regards to what's going on? I'm worried about it. I'm like, you know what? I don't swear on this channel, but it is BS. It is complete BS. A lot of these law firms work with a lot of these short companies. When Hindenburg dropped that report, if you look at the law firms that are actually associated, look at the previous history. These are the same law firms that actually get in on these opportunities. So just be aware and keep your eyes open. I am not saying that you should be using this information to guide your investment decisions because it is up to you to do your homework and to do your due diligence. But overall, in general, I definitely want to see SOS hit that $6 range. You get comfortable there. Sometimes it's weak. If it doesn't, hey, I'm cool with that because I am willing to wait. I don't mind at all. But hey, if we end up seeing $6, $7, $8, that'll be great. Are we going to be seeing the $20 or $50? Some of the things I've heard and people have told me about on YouTube. Hey, that would be great to happen, but I'm going to be realistic here. And if we see a move as far as $6, $7, $8, I'm happy with that. I'm good because I already know that I'm holding this long term, and I know many of you are going to be holding it long term as well. And as far as what I'm looking for, I'm going to be holding this for at least at the bare minimum 6 months to 1 year to see how it moves. And of course, you guys know my investment strategy. I usually take some profits, leave the rest, let it ride, and so forth. Hope you guys found this video helpful, and we'll talk soon. Peace.